What is up, guys? Good evening. Here for the UTLR podcast. We're glad to have everybody here this evening. Thank y'all for everybody who's tuning in. Chat rooms are open, so you can start communicating to us, and we'll communicate right back to you on tonight's events. It's going to be a lot that we have to discuss and to go over. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. I've got alongside me the typicals, SP, and soon to be here LRS and HD. Though they'll both be here in a few minutes. And then our special guest tonight is the one only UTLR Kenny. Kenny, glad to have you on.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, glad to be here.
So it's going to be quite an evening. We got so much to discuss and go over. So we got the UTLR Live, of course. We're live on Twitch, and you can find us afterwards on UTLR Live on YouTube and under the Light Tracing podcast on Spotify. We're here every Friday night, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern and going until we are done. So that is where you can find us on social media. And tonight's title is none other than "Yeah, Here We Go." So kind of fitting because here we go, because we got a lot of information to go over and to bring y'all up to deets on. So yes, the Cowboys got eliminated, and we'll just leave that at that, and we'll get to it in the football section. But yeah, that's kind of the point of the title, is to kind of get back at me after we hung SP's head last week. But we're going to transition right into the league business and get right into it. So, SP, going around the league here, since LRS is not here, I'll kind of let you take the lead on this one. You want to kind of go over the start with the Truck Series on Tuesday night?
Yes, I will. So Tuesday night, saw the Truck Series go to Mid-Ohio, and you had INF channeling his inner Michael Jordan. Uh, he got some food poisoning. He was under the weather majority of the night. He did not feel good. But you had Clader on pole, got his second, I believe, truck pole of the season, I want to say, or first. Um, and INF pretty much took the lead away early from him. And then old SP here was also in the race. Had a lot of great battles, and then everything kind of settled out throughout the race until maybe the last 5 laps. Then the fun began, and we saw 3 drivers go for the win there. You saw INF, saw me, and then you saw Clader. And in the end, INF made a bold move going into one of the last corners at Mid-Ohio. He moved me out of the way, and then coming into the last corner, I tried to move him out of the way, and he had a little better car control than me. I went off into the dirt, and he rode off into the sunset and got his first UTLR win. So that was pretty cool from him. He is trying to go full-time in trucks. Can't run for the playoffs or anything like that, but really cool to see INF get his win after not feeling good. And then I came home a very, very strong P2 with Clader. I believe P3, but overall, it was a really good, fun finish right there. The racing was all right. There's some battles throughout the track, nothing too special. All the eyes were up front watching that big battle for the lead, but INF takes home the win, and very well job from him. It was a good battle.
Yeah, and we actually have that finish to show y'all. And yes, I see you, INF, in chat. The correct SP on his wrong wording. First win at Mid Ohio, second win overall, and he is full time in trucks.
Okay. I also want to say before you show that, or well, while you're showing the clip, I'll say that's not the closest finish we had this
No,
week. We'll say
no,
it that.
we're just getting started. So Tuesday night here in the Truck Series, SP described it. So we're going to show it to you right here. Here we go. This is the Truck Series finish from this past Tuesday night.
This time. He slowed down way too much, though. It still got INF right there.
But it kept INF behind him. Took away that opportunity.
I don't know if it took away an opportunity, because here comes INF. Oh my goodness, INF's out in front. You know SP's gonna give it back to him.
Oh yeah, it gives him bumper right there. Not able to
More
do much.
bumper. More bumper. No, he give him the inside though. What was he thinking? Oh my God, on to go.
One to go. Here from Mid Ohio. So that was the Truck Series finish um, from Tuesday night. And yeah, like I said, it just got started with the trucks. It was a wild, wild night in the Truck Series. That was a close finish, but like SP said, not the closest as we head into Wednesday. But before we do, take a look at what is coming up for the Truck Series. We have Mid Ohio just finished up, and this is part of the Triple Truck Challenge. We have Phoenix next week and Indianapolis Oval to round out the Triple Truck Challenge before we enter the last three races at Texas, Chicagoland, and Talladega before we head into the Truck Series playoffs. So it is starting to heat up. Um, so moving on to the Cup Series side of things, what a night with the Cup Series. SP, I'll kind of let you kind of brief on this one as well.
Okay. In simple terms, there was a guy blocking me in the way with 2 to go. I move him out of way. Car passed me on last lap, but I say I know finish second. Channel inner Lightning McQueen, and then I pass back. And we had the closest finish in UTLR history on Wednesday night after I edged out Flash. Photo finish at New Hampshire. That was a crazy, crazy finish. That was a great battle we just had right there. Oh man.
Yes, INF, he is talking about me. I was the one blocking to stay one lap down. I was like, I'm not going two down, but I'm going to channel my inner Ryan Newman and be that guy that everybody may hate at the end of the race. But um, nonetheless, it was going to be a wild finish, but I think I just made it even better by channeling Ryan Newman. So
We'll put it this way. If I lost that race, Alex, we would be titling this podcast SP, Where'd You Go? So we'll leave it at that.
Batter. Where's Alex?
I would not be here.
No, you'd probably be buried 6 feet under, and SP would probably be pissing on your grave right now.
Sounds about right. But yeah, I mean, that was a wild finish. Like I said,
But hey,
closest finish ever.
yeah, and well, not only that, but first full clean race of the season. No
A
drama, no bull crap. It was
Oh, there were.
perfect.
there was
It almost had
No bull
drama.
crap that we've been used to.
yes,
Oh
this
yeah.
is true. You got a point there. I will say there was a
Yeah,
little
there's no
bit, but
SP
it just
rant.
wasn't heard in race chat.
You
But
know,
it was a
there
clean
was.
race.
But I will say
Yeah.
this though, you gotta feel bad for Flash. The last few weeks he's been up front, and up until last week he kept getting taken out of the race, and then this week he comes up just that close to his first win.
Yeah, and he's gonna get a win. It's coming. I don't know where,
Oh,
but
it is. It definitely
he's
is.
getting one, and it's going to be the ultimate prize for him. So Flash, if you're watching, you're getting one, man. It's coming soon. It's coming quick. I will say. Uh,
You know, I want to say it's going to be a short track because Flash really seems to know his way around the short tracks.
he does. He's really good there.
Like, I mean, look at where he's been at the last few weeks. He's been up front for Phoenix, and he was up front racing for the win at New Hampshire. I mean, and he was up front racing for the win over in Martinsville. He's been up there. He just hasn't had the luck to finish the way he runs the race.
It's kind of
And
been it's kind of been like me in a sense. Like I just have not been able to complete the races. I can be up front in the first two stages, and then everything just dives. It just doesn't go my way in the third stage. But he actually holds on to the end. It just comes up short. Versus I just can't finish in
yeah,
the end.
Alex said he's been up front. That's funny.
I've been in
well,
front a couple times, but
unfortunately,
Yes, couple
my
too.
unfortunately, Flash's issues stem from a internal JGR issue, I believe.
oh,
You know,
It may be. There's a
well,
good
I
chance
mean,
because
like I said,
you got Lowbrook
like I
saying that
said,
he's the
close
highest
race.
paid JGR driver, and yet he's finishing towards the back.
He's finishing dead last. What do you mean towards
Well,
the back? He is the back.
it's fitting. It's fitting that Flash is driving the 18 because he is probably the Kyle Busch of the league because he gets all the crap, no love lost. He gets everything. He runs good, and stupid crap takes him out of the races.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
And
Ryan Blaney. I should be the Kyle Busch.
now you're far from the Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
You're probably the Kurt Busch of the league with your little sailor mouth that you've got.
Okay, we'll
um,
leave it.
Well,
I'll leave it at that
yeah.
then.
Let's go ahead and show the viewers real quick though what the finish was real quick. So like I said, last season, if y'all remember, last season we had the ultimate finish, which was the closest finish in UTLR history at 1/10 of a second, and that was a four wide.
1/100th.
Oh, sorry, 1/100th. Should have been almost five wide, but after I bumped Mole out of the way for the 500 win, he kind of took me out coming off turn two at Auto Club last year. So there went my chances. But it was a four wide battle at the line and separated by 1/100th. And last night, or no, sorry, last night, Wednesday night in the Cup Series, it was 5/1000ths of a second for the finish. So that is the new record here in UTLR in the Cup Series and just overall. But here is the finish of that race.
Come out of turn number 4 to see the white flag last lap here in New Hampshire. The gap is now closed from first to second. A bumper to the 42 of SP. Up the track he goes. Storm is in the way, and now Flash Champs runs him up the track. SP's up into the outside wall. Flash Champs to the lead. Now, what does the 42 do? Into the final corner. A lunge from the 42 of SP. There's contact. Side by side out of turn 2 and 4. It's a drag race to the line. I think it was SP.
All right, so there was the finish of in history, finish for the record books, and with that, we're moving on to the Cup Series schedule, and this is where things kind of get interesting. We have the All Star race coming up next week, and this is a very unique format. We've got an announcement about that later on regarding our qualifying format. It is one like no other, if I have to say so for myself. I think SP and Kenny here can also kind of back me up that they've probably never seen anything like this in any other kind of league. Uh,
nope.
we do
It's
tournament style, 1v1s to determine the
bracket
All Star race
style.
lineup. So it's the drivers loved it last year, and so that's how we're doing it this year. It's kind of our thing now, but we've taken people by seeds and pretty much face them off 1v1. No Daytona, no Talladega is allowed. The higher seed chooses the track, the lower seed chooses the draft package, and at that point they get to race it out. Being a if it's a bigger track, it's a 7% race. If it's a smaller track, it's a 13% race, and they duke it out. They have to do a mandatory four-tire pit stop. Whoever comes out the leader and wins it moves on to the next round and faces off against whoever. And we're down to the last three drivers. Mole has advanced to the final round, and SP and Kenny here are actually doing their matchup tonight, and we will find out what their race is later on as they have an announcement to make. Um, so it's going to be a wild one next week with All Star Race. All Star Race is also this year. That's just qualified. All Star Race this year is made up of four different tracks. It's not just one track. It's four tracks at one of each track type. You got a road course, you got a short track, you got a mile and a half, and you got a super speedway. All to determine who is the All Star champion.
Well, to be fair, your track type isn't considered. It doesn't take all the track types. I mean, no dirt track. I mean, you can't say
Look,
it's all the track types.
look.
Just throwing that out there.
That's all good. Four of the five. Four of the five, if you want to be
Thank
technical.
you. Thank you.
We have HG joining us as of right now. But yeah, following the All Star race, we do go to Gateway and then Charlotte, and so that's the next three races right there. Is the All Star next week, and then following that is Gateway and Charlotte for the Cup Series. So before we get to the Xfinity Series, HD, you finally made it, my man. Good talk. Uh, so Mr. Had no excuse for missing the Xfinity race. HD himself, missing out on the Xfinity series. Another could have been close finish, but it was not as close as the others. But it was potentially going to be close. We had a great battle right there at the end. Really good race overall. Clean racing. There was a few incidents, but most of them were issues on drivers themselves because it was times three at Darlington. And SP, I'll let you kind of also brief on it, but I mean, Darlington is rough on tires. I mean, even in the broadcast, we were thinking, okay, Xfinity Series, times three at Darlington, it shouldn't be that bad. But then we saw INF dip down to pit road on like lap three or four, and we're like, what's going on? Like, what kind of. We didn't even realize how badly tires were being burnt until we saw INF pit so early, and we saw Dusty wearing tires out like nobody else. So, kind of talk us through how that one went. I know it was really rough in stage two, people spinning, burning tires like no other.
Yeah, the tires weren't necessarily that bad. The tires did burn. I felt like fuel was more of my issue as far as what I had set up. Um, and yeah, I mean, it was about a 20 lap period before you'd had to come down and pit. You could hold 21 laps of fuel. And that's kind of why you saw INF dip so early because new tires are so much more of an advantage when you take them. Whereas if you stay out and just take a risk and just kind of just drive around and see what you can do, um, it kind of benefits the guy who pits. But we saw some different strategies play out, and uh, half the field pitted, had the other half decided to stay out and save their stuff and made it to the end, like at stage one. And yeah, I mean, it just burnt out tires left and right. I mean, we saw a lot of spins, but not really a lot of cautions. I think we had three or two cautions last night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, it was a good race. And then when
Dusty
it came
lost
down to
talent.
the well, what happened was that everyone was starting to get loose again because that was the longest period we've gone on tires besides the end of stage one for some guys. And Dusty just got loose and he spun, and there was a lot of guys behind me that got loose and spun. But no caution came out because it was all single car spun. It just depended on how you set up the car for that race. I set it up more of a balanced middle kind of setup with a little loose in there, just try to make a little adjustments and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you didn't set the car up even closely like right, I mean, you're gonna struggle. And I mean, I thought I had a pretty fast car. I led some laps last night. I had pretty good pace. And then I lost talent there and smacked the inside wall and came back, hit the outside wall and almost hit the inside wall again. And
And still somehow
uh,
avoided everybody.
I know. I mean, it's just you gotta just Darlington is one of the hardest tracks in the game. Um, it's just hard to kind of manage tire wear, fuel, and also just managing where you're at on the track. I mean, it's so small, so tight. You can't mess up at Darlington. One little mistake you make, you're in the wall or you're spinning off a two. I mean, it's just you have to make sure you are perfect 100% that race. And unfortunately, Dusty was not 100% that race right there at the end. He just lost it 2 laps to go. And I feel bad for him. He should have won a race by now, but he has been in all the close finishes this year. He gets just completely just moved out of the way, or he just does not go his way, and just he's just unlucky.
Yeah, Dusty has come so close, and if you're watching this, Dusty, you're getting a win here soon as well. I mean, it's just a
I
matter of
believe
time.
it. I believe it. I'm here now. Whoop de doo. The
It's
podcast.
about time.
Podcast is saved. I'm here now. A little worse for wear, but I'm here now. That's all that matters.
It's all good. LRS is
About
still
Yeah,
time
stuck
you
on the
got
buddy.
out
dragon
here.
because he's driving in the snow. So
Yeah, she threw the
Golly.
snow with a broken tail light. Fuck it. Oh, fuck this shit. I already fucked that shit up. I was
you
about
are
to
dead.
sing the fucking LRS,
Jeez.
late for the podcast.
Driving through the
Get your
snow
ass
in
down
a
home right now, or we're gonna miss
wait.
the
Driving through the
podcast.
snow in a blacked out Escalade or whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you, HD.
I
You
think
lost me
we're
after Escalade.
I think we're past
If
Christmas.
Luke, if Luke has an Escalade, I will have to I'll have to hit this man up for a new pair of shoes because I'm running on 3-year-old Adidas. I need a new pair.
I like my brother. His shoe, you can see
Hey
his
man, get
toe,
those
and you're like, "Yep,
Nikes.
now it's time for new shoes."
I'm an Adidas guy. I'm an Adidas loyalist. I'll be honest with you.
I like my brother. I'm like
I feel
Under
ya.
Armour.
I used to like Under Armour, but I've grown into Adidas.
Well,
You mean
Under
Adidas?
with the Xfinity
Under Armour's
series,
gotten too corporate with them stupid Steph Curry shoes. Anyway, please continue.
Oh no, you're good. No, you're good.
Oh no, 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 no. We're not gonna
with,
continue.
with the Xfinity series, just pretty much
Steph
going over
Curry
the last
shoes.
couple weeks here. Their rest of the schedule goes as follows. After Darlington, they will head to Charlotte next week, and then Kentucky after that, following with the short track challenge stint where they go to Martinsville, New Hampshire, Richmond, Bristol for the short track challenge. So there's the next few weeks for the Xfinity series.
That's gonna be a rough stretch for your boy. That's gonna be a rough stretch for your boy.
It is. It is.
Maybe not Richmond, but everywhere else.
Good luck.
This is the guy that got sixth at Martinsville, by the way. Almost got a second, but sheer luck and coincidence, by the way.
INF, get this man his shoes.
INF, please, I need my shoes, INF. Your dad works for Nike, doesn't he? Tell him to help a brother out. Oh no, wait, I forgot. He can't do that because of like the contract legalities and stuff. He can't do that. I forgot about that.
Oop. Oh,
Yeah.
and
I'm not trying to get your dad fired.
that'd be awesome. He also said, never forget Hunter's pole in Amp Xfinity 2 years ago at Martinsville.
Dude, I was the only person to run a 19. I ran a 19.9 on accident, and the person that got on pole was like, "There's no way someone beat me." I said, "Check again, Bucko. Check again." I finished 3 laps down that race, but I got on pole. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, buddy. You started
That's
on
all that
pole.
matters. I got on
That
pole,
would be a
baby.
Charlie Morton deal right there.
Hey,
I
did,
mean, yeah, I mean,
did
I was
you
3
lead a
laps
lap?
down at this year's Martinsville race. I led the first 5.
Okay,
Then
okay,
I got
so you
sent
led
to
laps.
oblivion, and I was never inside the top 3 for the rest of that race,
Well, and
which sucks.
so, HT, you're just in time, actually, because yes, usually around the league stops in the Xfinity series. However, this week also we had a interesting thing take place. We would like to welcome a new series to UTLR, as we have been trying to work with another league on getting a series brought over, and some things just did not work out in our favor. So we did some working and we built a series that we feel like drivers would like, and feels a little bit more stock compared to the stock cars we're used to driving in Heat 5. So we would like to welcome in for the first time ever the UTLR F2 series. It is going to be a series ran by LRS, who's not here right now. He's actually going to be the broadcaster for it on UTLR Live on Twitch. And then you also have SP, who's going to mainly run it, alongside HD right here, who's going to be helping him out. So,
Who the hell gave me a slice of this pie?
yes, sir.
That's my thoughts on it, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I've
So-
wanted to run an F2 series for a while, so I'm happy I'm getting a chance to.
So we're
I'm
broadening
happy.
our horizon. We're getting out there. We're getting away from NASCAR, and not just going to be a NASCAR series. So it's going to be pretty awesome. This is the following schedule right here. You can see right here. We got Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Imola, Australia, and then the Spanish GP in Spain, the British GP, Austrian, Hungary, Italy, Belgian, Qatar, Azerbaijan, I want to say.
As Azerbaijan, that's fine that you butchered
Baku.
that.
Okay.
Azerbaijan. You could
I'm
just call
not
it
an
Baku.
F1 guy,
It's
so
it's known as Baku. You can just call it Baku.
okay. Yeah. And then we go to
Baku.
Las Vegas, and then Abu Dhabi.
Las Vegas.
So there's
Abu
already been some
Dhabi.
testing. We've already done a little bit of testing with the guys. There's already been about uh, 11 drivers so far, and we're hoping to have a 20 car field as our max. But INF, who's in the chat blowing us up, he is going to be racing with us this season in F2. It's going to be on Monday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern and doing 50% races, which will also include some full qualifying session and then also include throughout the season some sprint races. There will also will be a test session tonight potentially afterwards. Yes, INF. Um, but yeah, it's going to start, as you can see right there, it starts on March 4th and goes through June 10th. There's going to be one off week, and that is Memorial Day weekend. We will not race that week. But rules are being adapted as we speak, they're being worked on. Other than that, we've got a series that's locked and loaded, ready to go. SP, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I started like league racing on F122 and then continued on F123. And I'm all right in the F1 cars. I'm starting to kind of get the hang of the series and the whole point of it. And now going to F2 cars, I feel like there's no ERS. So I
Which
feel
I
like the
think makes it
racing should be
better.
good. Oh,
I think
yeah,
that
I
makes the
mean, you're
racing
right.
product a lot better. It's more. I feel like it's a lot more skill based than. Well, I guess I'm calling it X Factor based, like Madden X Factor based. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Slipstream, their Slipstream slash ERS is that X factor in an F1 car. You can use it to overtake somebody who's low on it in a straightaway or to just draw close to somebody on a straightaway. F2, it's all about DRS and just raw slipstream and raw pace, which I like that a lot. I like
Well,
that a lot.
cars are hard to turn, from what I've heard, and they feel like we said earlier, more like a stock
They
car
feel
kind of.
very similar. They feel very similar to like the NASCAR trucks in terms of like the front end not being just plowing almost
Right.
naturally plowing.
And I've heard that we've had from the drivers and probably from y'all as well. We got a good schedule laid out. I will say a lot of drivers are concerned though, which is going to provide just that much more of a challenge. Is Las Vegas? That track is hard to begin with, and then you
Vegas
have an
is the
F2
only
car.
track that I believe is has never been raced with an F2 car. The only track on that schedule. So there's gonna be it's gonna be interesting for sure.
And with it being the second to last race, makes it just that much more challenging for the drivers because at that point they're going to be gunning for it. They're going to be gunning for driver points and for that constructors championship.
Well, if that's the case, for my practice session tonight, I assume we run Las Vegas to kind of get an idea of whether or not it's apt to race on with an F2 car.
Might be a good
Apt.
idea.
Look at my vocabulary. Look at my
Look at
vocabulary.
you.
Apt. Apt. Look at me. Look at me. I'm
What a
I'm
Chad.
like that.
What a
I'm
Chad.
like that. All right, we're getting off the subject. Let's boogie.
So
We're
yeah,
getting off the subject.
that is all there is for F2. Of course, more details to come. If you are out there in chat, you want to join F2, it is Monday nights again, 10 o'clock Eastern. Hit myself up, UTLR Storm on Xbox, or UTLR Under the Lights Racing on Facebook. You can hit us up there, find us, message us, we can get you hooked up. Or if you know SP or CCD and Morton, you can hit them up too. They can get you plugged in just as easily. Or maybe CCD and
Absolutely.
INF, they can also kind of guide you into that direction. So pretty much, let's go right into our football talk.
I want to keep this concise because, to be honest, there's only one man I want to talk about in this week's football section.
He's going to want to talk about Baker Mayfield or Jordan Love. I already know.
Neither one of them, actually.
Well,
Oh my God. If
CJ
it's about a
Stroud.
team already out of the game, I
CJ
don't want to talk
Stroud.
about it.
Yes, he's right. Kenny got it. It is CJ Stroud.
well, before we get into that, we do have a
And
couple
D'Amico
things
Ryans.
to discuss
Texans as a whole, actually.
about NFL first, and that is the shock that we kind of have seen coming the last couple seasons. But Jason Kelsey retiring from the NFL.
Which
So,
I honestly, at the same time, don't believe he's fully sold on retiring yet. This might be another Tom Brady situation where Adam Schefter does what he always does and jump the gun to get clicks. That's an Adam Schefter thing to do. I can't stand Adam Schefter. I hate Adam
So you
Schefter.
think?
That
So
guy's
do
a
you think the
clown.
quote, as far as him saying that he talked and told his team in the locker room post game that he's done, you think that's just a clickbait?
He did say, I mean, he did say on his podcast too that after a game like that, you're in no place mentally to make that decision like the day of or the day right after. You kind of need that time to
Because he was in
let it
tears after the
marinate a little
game,
bit. Yeah.
kind of hinting to the fact that he probably was done.
I very well think he might be done, but at the same time, I also don't think he is.
So you think there might be a little
Wow, I
bit
need to.
of Tom Brady foolery taking place?
Maybe. Some people have said he's going to join the Chiefs. I don't see him joining the Chiefs when they have Creed
No.
Humphrey already starting. Yes, Creed Humphrey is already starting.
And let's put the Kelsey brothers on one team. Like, no.
Yeah, no, because poor Jason's not slotting over out of the center position just to play on the field at the same time as Travis.
Right. Just to gain more
Jason,
popularity and more clicks for the Chiefs.
no.
Can't
There's gonna be no more Kelsey Swift duos. It's only gonna be one duo.
Yep. So it's we'll see how that one plays out. But overall, it was a exciting and kind of for a couple mind blowing wild cards or sorry
Cowboys.
super
Sorry.
wild card
Sorry, I had to do
weekend.
it.
Yes, the Cowboys
Sorry,
lost.
I had to do it. I had to do it.
Jumping the gun. Nah. Cowboys lost, unfortunately. So yes, y'all can throw all the hate at me all you want. It's all right. We'll take it in stride because you know it's only happened to us like what the last 29 years. So not like we're
Sell
used to
the
it.
team. Sell the team. Sell
Um,
the team.
a lot of other crazy games happen, but it does set up for a wild divisional weekend. And we're going to break down each game briefly, but you can see right here what it all looks like. Saturday, you'll have the Texans versus the Ravens, and then Saturday night you'll see Green Bay face off against San Francisco, and then on Sunday afternoon is going to be the Bucks versus the Lions, and rounding out the weekend is going to be the Chiefs versus the Bills, who are currently shoveling the Bills Stadium out of snow. So, uh, let's start off with going in order here. We're going to start off with the Texans and Ravens matchup. Whoever wants to kick it off. Kenny, you're a special guest here, so I'll actually let you start this one.
So the Texans have really shocked the world. I mean, you can't tell me they haven't because they freaking have. I mean,
They have.
the way C.J. Stroud is playing, the way D'Amico Ryans is coaching right now.
Shout out to Miko.
Yeah, no kidding. A rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach. This is stuff that the NFL hasn't seen in a long, long time. A rookie quarterback. When was the last time you seen a rookie go to the playoffs?
Brock Purdy last year.
This is true.
A rookie that actually matters.
Technically speaking, if we want to get technical, Brock Purdy only led them halfway there. He only had to go halfway home. Technically speaking.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, continue.
But Stroud has really changed the game for the Texans. They finally have their franchise quarterback. They finally have a head coach that gives enough of a damn about how his players play and doesn't, he's not a Bill O'Brien, and Bill O'Brien is a horrible coach, a horrible person. I mean, with Bill O'Brien as head coach, we lost not only J.J. Watt, we lost DeAndre Hopkins, and Watson, went through all his problems.
Massage therapist boy. All right,
Went
we're
through all
off
his
of that. We're
problems.
off of that.
But I mean, the weapons that C.J. Stroud has going into this game, there are a lot of them. Without rookie Tank Dell, Stroud has really been able to find new targets like Nico and Schultz, but newer targets like, John Mechie and, Noah Brown, which, by the way, Noah Brown out for probably the rest of the season after being placed on IR. The Texans did elevate Steve Smith, I believe, to the active roster and signed somebody from Atlanta to their practice squad. So
Matt Collins, probably Matt Collins. That dude did nothing in Atlanta.
but Stroud has got a lot of weapons. He's got Collins, he's got Schultz, he's got just about everyone that you will need to make the Texans go far into the playoffs. And, on the opposite side, defense, you've got Jonathan Grenard back, Will Anderson Jr., Derek Stingley Jr., Jalen Petrie, guys that make this.
Desmond King. The GOAT. I love Desmond King.
Yeah, King.
I love Desmond King.
Well, and
Continue.
Desmond King, and Stevie Nelson, and Denzel Perryman, all these guys that make the difference on defense.
Damn, y'all's defense is stacked. I just realized. Y'all got a stacked defense. Hold up.
And not only that, making his return to Houston, Kareem Jackson got claimed off of waivers from the Broncos.
True.
SP, I'm gonna wait to get a couple people in.
But no, I mean,
But,
so you got a good, solid Texans team overall. But at the same time, you cannot deny how good the Ravens have been after a few years of almost nothing for them. They go to the playoffs and they choke it away, and here they are sitting on the number one seed, and in the divisional round now facing off against a very good Texas team.
well, and, looking at all the stats and stuff, or not the stats, but looking at the injury report, the Ravens are going to be without some of their big key players. Marlon Humphreys, cornerback for the Ravens, he has been downgraded to out for the weekend, as well as their starting tight end,
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews, he's out for the weekend too. So
It is amazing
now,
he came back to begin with.
well,
He should have stayed
no.
out. But,
Yeah.
but no, so that game is going to be a tough one. I mean, what y'all
For both sides.
Yeah. So as far as over unders, I mean, what y'all have on this one, Kenny?
I'm not going to make any predictions because everyone counted the Texans out against the Browns, and they went out and, they popped them in the mouth. They put not one, but two pick sixes on the board. And Devin Singletary, he rushed for 6, and Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz got in for, I believe, a few points too. So I mean, when the Texans are on, they are on their game. But the key is stopping Lamar's running. The way he's able to just extend plays with his feet, it's insane. And Lamar, he's a better runner than a passer. He makes good passes, but he's got that first sense of, okay, nothing looks open, I'm out. And that's all he does. He runs, which is fine, but I mean, it's not going to win you a championship.
Well, we'll see how they form it. Like I said, it's going to be a close one. Really good one to watch. It's going to be the first one of the weekend to pay attention to. So all heads will be turned to the Texans versus the Ravens. Obviously, Kenny here is a Texans fan. So
Really?
yeah.
No,
I
really.
would never have
I
guessed.
thought this young man perhaps was a Toronto Argonauts stan. Toronto Argonauts. CFL.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it doesn't
buddy.
exist.
No, they actually do. They're better than the Panthers, if you ask me.
Not true.
Put Jay Cutler at quarterback.
So
The smoking Joe.
we take it
Love
on
Jay
to
Cutler.
Saturday night. The second game is Packers versus 49ers.
I
Since
didn't even get my
Cowboys could
answer
not
in.
defeat the Packers here. Green Bay took them to town. Score
Jordan
should be
Love in an upset. That is
yeah,
all.
pretty much. But y'all's thoughts on Packers and Niners HD? You want to kind of keep
Okay.
going?
I
Or,
will
But
go ahead, SP.
or
I'll go say this is my team. I
okay,
get to go with
okay.
this one.
It would be
This is
Luke's
my
team if
team.
he was here, but
You're saying it's not my team?
no, it is your team. But I
No,
mean,
no, 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 no.
if Luke was
You're a
here, it'd be his
you're a
team.
bandwagon.
Uh,
You're a
See, I don't want to
bandwagon.
hear. I'm from fucking San Francisco, HD. What you mean?
Bro,
You only watch the
you're just now
Niners
learning
because they're
about football
good.
this year.
If they were
I've
bad, you
been
wouldn't
a
watch them.
49ers fan since Colin Kaepernick, and I did not watch the 49ers until Brock Purdy last season.
Bud,
Besides
Bud,
that, I didn't watch since Colin Kaepernick when he was
Yeah,
on the
then you
team.
started
And then when he left, yeah.
Bud,
then you
that was
started
a decade
riding his
ago.
nuts.
That was a decade ago.
Yes.
I
As
watched
soon
the Saints go
As soon as
7
Brock
and 9
Purdy,
with a top 5 roster 3 consecutive years.
as soon as Kaepernick left, I did not watch like any really football. I just wasn't into it. He
Brock
kind of
Purdy
ruined
comes
like
in and you
no
ride
offense.
his
I
nut.
couldn't even tell you who their quarterback was.
I
Oh,
can't
didn't
tell
they
you.
go from
Okay,
Kaepernick to
here.
Garoppolo seamlessly? Yeah, I think they did.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me
Anyways,
out.
Packers
Son of a-
Niners, SP.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a very close game the first half. The second half is going to make or break the team. I feel like we're going to know who's going to win the game by like probably halfway through the third. I feel like the 49ers are going to win by about maybe a touchdown, 7 to 10 points at most. I don't think they win more than 10 points. It's going to be a very close game, I think. As far as the cuz I didn't answer the questions, Texans Ravens are going to blow the fuck out of the Texans. Kidding. They're going to win by about 10 as well. I think both games Saturday tomorrow are going to be won by 10 or less points. I really feel.
Well, HD, your thoughts?
There's not going to be a blowout. Plain and simple. There will not be a blowout game. Speaking of which, oh my God. Speaking of blowouts, Devin Booker has put 40 on the New Orleans Pelicans' head. Anyways, there's not going to be a blowout at all. I think every game's going to be fairly close because cream of the crop teams are here, obviously. I got Texans winning, honestly. I think the Packers are going to beat the 49ers. I'm not sold on the 49ers. I'm still not sold on the 49ers after their 3-game losing streak. And as for the other teams, who
Yep.
plays the Lions and who else?
Uh,
We'll get to that in a
yeah,
minute,
so
but yeah.
pretty much,
I got Packers and Texans. I got Packers Texans.
I'd have to say Packers. I mean, yes, they just beat Cowboys, but Jordan Love is coming together strong at the right time, and I think again it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be less than 7 against Packers and Niners. I can't say much for the Texans and Ravens. I'm not going to speak for that one, but yeah. Uh, for the Sunday game starting off, it's going to be another really good showdown you want to watch. First game, and that is the Bucks and the Lions. So, SP, I got you.
Okay.
Um, he's going to step aside due to some college work he's got to take care of. So,
I'm almost done. I got
Busy-
3 paragraphs left. I have to
Busy,
take care of
busy
this.
boy.
I'll be
gosh.
back. I'll just stay in here. I'm gonna mute everyone, so I'm gonna do my work.
Busy,
you do.
busy boy.
But yeah, so Bucks and Lions, that's going to be a really good one. Bucks are actually looking pretty strong here
Ooh.
going into the playoffs. But I do think that Lions have been showing a lot of consistency and are going to continue to perform as they have been. So I think that Lions are going to be the dominators on this one. As much as the Bucks, I love the Bucks and they're good, but I feel like this is going to be probably one of the more of the blowouts. It's not going to be a close game. It's not going to be a complete blowout, but it's going to be probably the strongest or the largest deficit between the two. HD.
Short and simple. I'm riding the Baker Mayfield hype train. As much as I want to root for Dan Campbell and them boys, which honestly, this is like a win-win game for me. I don't care who wins. Contrary to popular belief, I kind of like Tampa because of Baker Mayfield. I kind of like Tampa, even though I'm a Saints fan.
Baker Mayfield
Tampa's
has,
very tolerable.
Baker Mayfield has finally come into play, and he's
Tampa's extremely tolerable.
he's finally doing what Brady was doing with the team, if not made it a little bit better.
Well, granted, last year Brady was just trying to go all out for another ring, and then the man just completely
Flunked.
deflated. Deflated. Winning a division by going 8-9 is embarrassing. The fact the Saints didn't win the division last year still makes a lot a bit mad, actually. But anywho, yeah. I'm gonna ride the Bucks hype train, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be like come down to the last possession of the game type of game. I feel like Baker Mayfield's gonna have to lead a drive with like a minute 20 to go to get in a field goal range, and then Chase McLaughlin, yeah, that's their kicker, is gonna have to drain like a 48-yarder to send him to the NFC Championship. Yeah, or he's gonna miss it, and Dan Campbell and them boys are gonna go to the NFC Championship. It's gonna be one of those games, I think.
I don't know.
That's just the brand of football those two teams play.
I think, yeah. I mean, I think Dan Campbell's onto something. He's got the trick shots up his sleeve right now, and I think he's gonna be one to watch coming into that fourth quarter. Expect a lot of trick plays if it's a close game. If it's a
Expect Dan
close
Campbell to
game,
go for it on 4th and 27.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those trick plays involving those fourth down plays. Don't expect Dan Campbell to kick a ball. They're going to go for it. And you better believe he's going to go for every 2-point conversion as well. I learned that from the Dallas game. But with the, or I guess, your thoughts on Bucks and Lions?
I mean, Baker's coming off a hot game. So is Jared Goff. I mean, it's another one of those toss-ups. It's one of those where last week we went into thinking the Cowboys were going to beat the heck out of the Packers, and the Packers came and they embarrassed the hell out of the Cowboys. And then, later on the next day, freaking Tampa Bay goes out and thumps Philly. It's like, where are these teams coming from? These 9-8 teams are like making these, 10-plus win teams look like they're, terrible. And to be fair, they both teams that got the tar kicked out of them did play terrible. But I like the way that Baker, has really progressed as the Tampa Bay quarterback. I mean, when the Texans and the Buccaneers played, he was slinging that thing like he was, back in college. So I think Baker really is developing as a quarterback better in Tampa Bay than he would ever in Cleveland or even, Los Angeles. It's just he's got a better group of receivers this time around with Mike Evans and Josh Gordon.
Yep.
And
Do you mean Chris Godwin?
Or Chris Godwin? Sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking like Josh Gordon's I think out of the league by far. Poor guy.
Something. My bad.
Poor guy. I like Josh Gordon. Poor guy.
Anyway, but so he's got Chris Godwin and he's got Mike Evans. Two top tier elite receivers that he can sling the ball to if he needs to. But the cool thing about Baker is he's kind of like Johnny Manziel. He can sling the rock, but he ain't afraid to put his head down and pop a few guys if he needs to. And that's kind of what I like about him. He's not afraid to lower the boom if he has to. You don't see that from many quarterbacks anymore. Somebody that's not afraid to go in and fight for those extra yards that they desperately need.
I feel like Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen are the only two in today's game that are going to do that. Like, genuinely.
Probably.
For sure.
Genuinely. The only two. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Josh Allen, can we talk about this fake slide that he did last week?
Yeah, and that's going into this next game to round it out. Chiefs versus Bills on Sunday Night Football, prime time.
I don't know.
So,
Last time they played,
I'm not sold on the Chiefs though.
I'm
not
not
sold
on Chiefs.
Their receiving core is god awful.
Do not disrespect Rashee Rice though. He got 1,000 yards as a rookie, or very close to it, I think.
Yeah,
that's
but I mean,
about all
I'm
I
talking
got
about,
though.
Yeah, I mean,
I
all
mean,
they've got.
Travis had his worst year in almost a decade. Poor guy.
but see, when they had Tyreek Hill, Hill could easily torch him for 10
Which
or
Hill
20
opened
yards.
opportunities for Kelsey. I don't think Travis
Exactly.
Kelsey can be the number one anymore.
You
Travis
can't.
Kelsey's at the age where he can't be the one anymore.
Well, it's hard to put the game on. It's hard to put your passing game on the shoulders of a tight end. You know,
Now, the
your
Ravens
tight
can
end.
do that because Mark Andrews creates looks for everyone else. Mark Andrews creates looks for everyone else. I feel like
Yeah,
Mark Andrews is the only tight end that can do that, I guess. Because
well,
he's obviously half a decade younger than Kelsey.
well, and you got to think too. You know, with Lamar running the way Lamar does, you know, it makes
There's
it
a three-headed attacker on the Ravens
it's
offense
a
that the
three-headed
Chiefs just don't have.
three-headed hydra. You got to stop Lamar. You can't let oh God, what's his name again?
You can't let Andrews get open.
Can't let
And if you
Andrews get
cover
open.
Andrews, you still got Odell, you still got Rashad Bateman, you still got Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, but
Shout out Odell, by the way.
the kicker is though is Andrews is out, so that takes away his safety valve.
But he still has Zay Flowers, who's been a very impressive rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, but now I think Lamar's going to get pressured to make more throws that he shouldn't make, or try to run with it in situations that he shouldn't run with. But we're done with the Ravens. But you know, going to Buffalo, you know, kind of like we were talking about with Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen is one of those dudes that's not afraid to lower his pads and pop you in the mouth if he needs to, and that's what I like about him. But you know,
Well,
I don't know.
Bills is one of those teams that we were just talking about being like finishing their division pretty poorly whenever you look at a record stance, and they're showing up. And again, 2 years ago we would have been talking about the Chiefs probably outperforming the Bills by a good margin, but now this has become like the rivalry teams. And this year, like we said, the Chiefs look god awful right now. I don't have a hope.
Well,
I don't have
their
hope in them.
receiving core. They don't have a receiving core. Back when Tyreek Hill was in, they had Hill and Sammy Watkins to make plays. They
Yep.
got rid of Sammy Watkins. They put it all.
Well, Sammy
on
Watkins
Tyreek.
wasn't good, granted. Sammy Watkins was never like amazing, granted.
No, but he still knew how to catch the dang ball.
Now,
they don't.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Kadarius Toney. This is just a fluke year. I don't think Kadarius Toney's this bad. I genuinely don't think he's this bad. I watched Kadarius Toney at Florida. That man was like a top 5 wideout in the country at Florida. I'm a Georgia fan. I know what I'm talking about. He killed us in 2020.
I mean, you can't keep forcing someone to try to have a good season when they're clearly not having a good season. You know,
I mean, I just don't think the Chiefs have the depth at wide receiver. It's not that they don't have the star power; they don't have the depth. They've never had the wide receiver depth. Justin Watson is their wide receiver too. Justin Watson barely eclipsed 500 receiving yards this year.
Well,
Barely.
They'll say they have star power when they don't. Like Chiefs fans and any other person will say, "Yeah, we've got star power because look, we got Kelsey." That don't count.
look, back when before Tyreek left, they had an elite quarterback, an elite tight end, an elite wide receiver, and now it's like Mahomes is struggling to find somebody to throw to because he can't fully trust his receivers anymore.
Mm-mm.
You know, in crucial situations where he needs his receivers to be on their game, they failed him.
Well, and
They
also
have
that
let him down.
offensive line core has not been able to really cover Mahomes. I feel like compared to the last couple of years, like a lot of the defensives of these games have been able to penetrate that O line and have been allowing Mahomes to get sacked more than ever.
Mm-hmm. And Mahomes has had to try to do some crazy stuff with the ball. He's trying to throw it in places he shouldn't. And prime example of Mahomes trying to be a runner was this past weekend where he got popped and shattered his helmet. I mean, completely.
Yep.
Like, I've seen helmets chip, but I've never
It's
seen
shattered.
completely shattered.
Now, here's the difference with that. Now, this is like just the weirdest game in 27 degrees
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
yes.
any other circumstance, Mahomes is not running. Because I guess, A, Mahomes doesn't want to throw it because those laces are probably like razor blades, I can imagine, trying to catch the football
Well,
or
let's
trying
also
to pass it to begin with. It's
Well,
like
you
you're
got to think
literally
too,
holding a razor blade in your hands.
well, and
With
the
those
closer
laces.
you
also
are,
I will say on that one though, if you put them in normal Arrowhead conditions, I think even then we still see Miami win it over Chiefs. It was I think Miami could have actually done something.
I still don't believe in big game Tua. I don't.
I
I
wasn't
don't believe
sold
in.
on Tua
I
when
am
he
not a.
was at
I'm
Alabama.
still not a believer in Tua. I'm still not
I
a
wasn't
believer in
sold on
Tua
him
in a
when he was
big
in
game
Alabama.
moment.
Yeah, I mean I don't really care for him, but I feel like with how badly the Chiefs have performed, I
That's a
feel
lot.
like that they
Ow.
could have at least pulled it out. Just simply, but it was all Chiefs just because of the weather. I mean, Miami is not prepared to play in that kind of condition. They really never have had to.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah,
still, though, I mean,
Chiefs.
even the way
Chiefs
Miami
Bills.
was
I got
playing,
Bills.
Yeah, I've
I
got
mean,
I
I
got
don't want
Bills.
to root. I don't want to
I
root.
ain't.
I mean, I
I
hate
ain't
rooting
sold on
against
KC.
Kansas City because
Just
that's my
ain't
brother
sold
and
on
my best
KC.
friend.
Period. I just ain't sold on KC. Period.
I
Not
mean,
even close.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a tight game. If things go, if Kansas City shows up and the receivers do what they need to do and they can actually hold on
That's a
to the
smart
ball,
guy.
Kansas City wins this game. If Kansas City shows up the way Kansas City has the last time they played Buffalo, Kansas City's going to lose their ass.
I think
And
so.
like we said earlier, you can't put it all on Travis Kelsey. You just can't. Because once they figure out that you're going to throw to him 90% of the time, what are those defenders going to do? They're going to go and cover the guy that you throw to 90% of the time. I mean, that's what those defensive guys get paid for, to cover people that you're trying to throw to.
Well, it'll be a interesting one. Again, very good matchups throughout the entire weekend, and uh, we may see another underdog winners, or we may see the guys who we're calling out right now to win. So, um, nonetheless, amazing weekend on tap for the divisional in the playoffs. Really good teams, and only four can move on. So, we will see by the end of Sunday night who those four are. As we head into the motorsports section, where we get to really get into it, as we have LRS joining us finally after getting home from the snowstorm. So welcome in, Luke.
Thank you. What's up, guys?
I picked against the 49ers. Yell at me.
I don't mind it.
So,
Okay. I don't like
Um,
that response too much. I don't like that response. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
It's like, eat my
Yeah,
shorts. I don't care.
I don't like that.
well,
Oh no, bro. I'm
here's
not a
one.
fan of that.
Here's one thing you might like, HD, and that is the guy. So we have NASCAR
Devin Booker is
1 month
52 and
away.
3/4? Excuse me, I'm
NASCAR is 1
sorry.
month away
That's
from
wild.
the Clash at the Coliseum, and it's almost back. And everybody's getting excited. There's so much going on, as y'all have seen on the podcast. We talked about all the updates and everything going on, but a lot of news released, and there's quite a bit of information about the Clash that was released this week, and one that got a lot of people's attention. Not necessarily for the best series, but um, Fluffy is going to be our command to fire engines for the NASCAR Mexico series that we race
Fluffy!
in. So everybody knows Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, Grand Marshal for the NASCAR
Oh my
Mexico
God,
series.
yes! Dude, Fluffy's the best. I don't care what anybody says.
Y'all
Devin
can fight me
Booker
for it. Fluffy is the best.
schooling.
Fight me.
Dude, like one of my top celebrities to meet is Gabriel Iglesias,
Oh
just
yeah.
because of the
Mr.
sheer fact,
Iglesias.
just for the sheer fact that I like the, I like the, it's fluffy, man. Like
Yeah.
that's all I can say. It's fluffy.
It's Fluffy time. So
I mean, you
I'm curious to see how he does that Grand Marshal, I mean, it's gonna be lit.
Well, and for those that don't know, Gabriel Iglesias is actually the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez
Really?
from the. Yeah, he was a part of the Space Jam movie. He was Speedy Gonzalez in that
Oh
movie.
yeah, that's right.
Nobody gonna get you one. That's Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, we're gonna change tracks. Okay,
But yeah,
track. No, change the
so
track, you
on February
idiot.
4th, they will head to the Mexico Series kicks off their season, also in the LA Coliseum. And like I said, Fluffy being the Grand Marshal over there. Unfortunately, I wish that he could just, stay put and just be the Grand Marshal for both series, for the NASCAR Cup Series. But um, don't know who the Grand Marshal is going to be yet for the Clash. So maybe it's a surprise, and maybe we do get a combo of a Fluffy. I doubt it, but you never know.
I mean,
Going into
you can't say Fluffy's not the funniest comedian on the circuit right
oh,
now.
he is heading into the Clash at the Coliseum. The pre-race performance got released, and it is none other than the DJ himself, Dylan Francis. And I'm saying that whenever I don't even know who the hell he is. So
Dylan Francis is a DJ for. Well, I mean,
I know
he had a
that.
couple songs. He had a couple songs in. He's had a couple songs in like MLB games. So
Okay.
they were
Didn't
pretty good
Dylan
songs
Francis
too. They're pretty
also
catchy.
help make like one of the most well-known songs that Little John ever made?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. But
No, it was Turned Down for What?
was it?
That was
Yeah.
DJ Snake. That was
Say,
DJ
no,
Snake.
that wasn't
Was it
Francis.
DJ Snake?
That was DJ
Oh,
Snake.
okay, no, okay, yeah. He did something with DJ
Mr.
Francis.
305.
I know he did something with DJ Francis.
No, bro. Dylan.
DJ
Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
His name is
Dylan
Dylan.
Francis.
Dylan. Dylan. I can't take guys with the name Dylan seriously. I'm sorry. To all you Dylans out there, I'm sorry. I can't do it. Your name is Goofy. Hunter's Goofy?
Hey.
But at least there's a respected individual
what do you
out
have to
there
say
with the
about
name
Flash?
Hunter. His name is Hunter Renfro.
So what about
The
Flash? His name's
football one
Dylan.
and the baseball
Dylan
one.
Blevins.
Now that's a cool name because this man's basic because he could just say he's related to Ninja and all the 7-year-olds would believe him. You're related to Ninja? No way! That's crazy. Yeah, I know I'm related to Ninja, man. It's pretty cool. Flash, I'm sorry. I
Anyways.
just got your voice down to a T and I feel offended for making fun of you now.
So yeah, that's
This
the
is why you're better
pre-race.
than me at NASCAR. Continue.
Going into
This is why you're better than me.
the middle of the race, we have the race break performance, and some people have kind of turned their heads on this one, but Machine Gun Kelly is going to be performing the halfway
I'm sorry.
break.
Hey, I'll give it to you this way. I was a Machine Gun Kelly guy before he turned to emo girl type stuff. Machine Gun Kelly, when he was a rapper, not the best rapper ever, but he had a very respectable, I would say, rap career. He was alright. He dissed Eminem, it goes downhill. He's been downhill since he tried to diss Eminem. The album he made after he dissed Eminem,
But my thing is NASCAR is a sport of rednecks drinking beer. Get us a country artist.
Yeah.
Well,
Hit me,
also,
Jelly Roll.
like, I don't
It's
think a
country
country
artist,
artist
but at
would
the
even
same
work.
time-
Like, honestly,
At the
if
same
they
time, it's
like,
kind
I
of
mean,
rock.
I mean, last year they basically brought out half of NWA,
Yeah.
basically, and it worked. It was pretty good. I liked it. I liked it. I did. I thought
mean,
it was good.
I don't know.
I'm still.
It's good.
Well, and supposedly
NASCAR.
this is also the quote unquote rumored last year with the Clash at the Coliseum. So that's what I've heard going around. Don't know how true it is, but that is a rumor that's going around.
Like, I don't mind the Clash. I don't think it's bad. I don't mind it.
think it is. I thought it was gonna be the worst idea ever, and also
It's an exhibition race. It's not
Yeah.
a points paying race. Why should people really care whether it's good or not? It's an exhibition race. If Kyle Larson wants to act like a wrecking ball, so be it. He can do it without repercussions.
well, and kind of discussing.
Yes, I
that,
went there.
It goes
Yes, I
in-
just went there.
It, it goes into the format too. For this year's Clash, they have dropped the count to 23 drivers instead of 27, just because of the
Good.
track space. So, do we see better racing? I mean, granted, it's still gonna be probably a one groove track. Let's be real. But
Alex
it's
Bowman's
flatter.
not. Alex Bowman's
The
not going to
track
get
is
sent
flatter
to the
than a day
shadow
old
room and
soda,
taken
bro.
out.
Like, it's flatter than a day old soda. There's not gonna be much multi groove racing.
there's no. Well, I mean, you can. If there's no banking,
Charlie Morton.
either groove should
Charlie
be able
Morton.
to work.
Charlie Morton, let me tell you something.
It's Hunter.
I don't give a fuck.
I do kind of, but oh well. Beggars can't be choosers.
But seriously,
go ahead.
that track, it's flat.
I
The
know.
only thing that flat track
I thought it was
racing is
cir-
going to
I thought it was
provide
rounded.
is aggressive, move you out of the way racing, and that's what the draw of the clash
Ain't that
is.
what Martinsville's been for the last, I don't know, 3 decades of NASCAR?
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is flatter though than Martinsville, and it's shorter.
Plus, it's
and it's
smaller.
More aggressive. Yeah, it's
What do we
three
expect?
times. It's almost like 3 times smaller than Martinsville.
This is Bowman Gray Stadium. This is just Bowman Gray Stadium on the West Coast.
Pretty much. With less room. And no inside barriers to go through.
Well, ask Justin Haley about the inside barriers.
Well, I was about to say, I was about to reference Justin Haley too, but I mean, because he tore that car to pieces.
Well, Kyle tore that car to pieces for him, technically, if we want to get technical. See,
Luke,
my glorious king, Alex Bowman, would never do that.
So, Luke, here I can kind of get you started on this. What's your take on the format for this year? Because it is slightly different with there being less cars.
Yeah, I think it's well, I mean the format is really similar the way they're doing the heats and the practice sessions. They are free now, so you can go on and watch them for free, which I think is a pretty good thing for that area.
I like that.
But I do like the format, but personally, I don't think it's going to change much. We saw last year there was a lot of accidents, and we saw DNFs, and there were right around that number of cars at the end of the race, and they were still crashing every lap. So it's going to be the same product, I think. I don't think they'll crash a lot, but it'll be a lot of aggressive, over-aggressive, moves, a lot of people upset going into Daytona. It is a short track, like Kenny said, so you have to expect stuff like that.
Well, I think there's going to be a little bit more aggression because there is less cars in the main event. So you're going to be asking for. I mean, we saw surprises enter into the show last year, make it in. So now you're asking for less drivers to make it in. Oh yeah, aggression's going to be going high, especially with the fact that the heat races are not all back to back like they were last year. Last year we saw the heat races and the last chance qualifier all back to back right before the main event. But now this year they got the heat races and qualifying for the heat races on Saturday, and then they get to take a break, cool down, and then you have the last chance qualifier on Sunday, leading up into the clash.
My boy Alex Bowman was taken out because of stupid Austin Cindric 2 years ago. I will never forgive Austin Cindric for that. I will never forgive Austin Cindric. I will never forgive Ty. Remember when Ty Dillon just bulldozed everybody to oblivion and then jumped the start in his LCQ? He jumped the start and got disqualified. Ryan Preece qualified in a part-time car.
His car was clean.
Ryan Preece qualified.
Yeah. He was clean, his car was clean, and he jumped the start and he was done.
This man jumped the start like an idiot.
But I think that was the first year that it was happening, so they were having to learn where the start and finish line was, I guess. I don't know, but it's gonna
I don't like that INF's running us down right now. That's scary.
So yeah, there's how the clash is going to work out. Moving on into our next topic of I feel like we've been talking about this guy for the last 2 or 3 weeks now. Jimmie Johnson.
Matthew DB. Oh crap!
Again, he has now added 3 more races to his schedule. Now it's up to 9, where he'll be competing for. Finally, we got the confirmation he is going to be in the 500. And then I believe the other 2 that were added was the Brickyard 400 and the season finale at Phoenix. But I like how he continues to add in these ovals. And also to before LRS tries to bring in a stat quote, I'll probably bring one up for him. Jimmy Johnson has not gotten to race the Brickyard 400 because his last year was or the last chance to race at Brickyard was on the oval was COVID, and he did not get to race that race because he was out with COVID. So this is Jimmy Johnson's, I think, quote unquote, maybe last chance to race the Brickyard.
Give me just one more last
I don't
chance.
know. I think that's going to be quite interesting and a highlighted topic going into that weekend. If people know it, then they're going to recognize and pay attention because Jimmy Johnson, I think, is going to be doing a. I think he'll be a competitive car this year.
Oh yeah, I agree. By the way, never forget what Corey LaJoy in the Trump 2020 car did in that Brickyard race.
My goat,
In
Corey
the pit
LaJoy.
lane, and killed everyone. Killed Justin Allgaier. Killed Ryan Priest. But I think the lineup for Jimmy is really good. Like you said, the Brickyard is good for him. We'll never forget when he sent it 3 wide while blowing up on Casey Kane and Brad Keselowski. But Dover, he's gonna have a good shot
God.
there. He's gonna have a good shot at Phoenix. So I mean, and the Toyota, honestly, I think it's gonna be pretty fast this year for them. They're gonna have
Oh
growing
my
pains,
God.
obviously, but I think they'll be pretty
INF,
quick.
you idiot. Dadgummit. I'm sorry. INF full send and it missed.
For the viewers, they're practicing F2 right now.
Yeah,
So.
INF full sent the leader from third and spun himself right in front of me. What a nerd. Oh no, he spun me. You idiot.
Also,
You
we got Justin
turd.
Haley was fully. We finally got confirmation on one of the two cars, or on the 51 car, with Justin Haley is driving it for the season. So he'll be driving the 51 for Rick Ware Racing in 2024, and crew chief Chris Lawson will be in for that car. So
Oh yeah,
I don't know how you feel about Justin Haley in a Rick Ware car.
I think it's not the best, but I do think Rick Ware with the recent signings, Justin Haley, Kaz Gralla, um, Justin Haley has a full-time sponsor in the Federated Order of Eagles. You want to race in that paint scheme for Spire. Lucky or not, still want to race, so good relationship there. I do think it's good for Rick Ware Racing, not necessarily good for Justin Haley. I do think Justin is setting up, though, to get into Brad Keselowski's seat over at RFK when he retires.
Ooh, interesting. You think he'll become a Ford guy?
I mean, yeah, Rick Ware is a Ford team, and he left Colleague, which was his team for years, and he got all his wins and all his trust with them, and they believed in him, and he was their first winner, and he left them because he saw a better opportunity. I don't think he would leave to go to Rick Ware Racing. That's why I think he's waiting in the wings for that
This
RFK
is like a bridge
seat.
year, I feel like, for Haley. This is kind of like just a bridge year. Kind of like how NFL teams have bridge quarterbacks. They're like temporary solutions to permanent problems, I guess.
It could be. I think because Rick Ware is
Yeah.
that mid team anyways. They got a little bit more funding behind them now, but
Hey,
I,
they've had a couple good runs.
yeah.
Only when
So,
Jensen Button was in the race car.
yes, true. Oh, and HD INF just put in chat saying we got beef.
INF, we didn't get beat.
He said beef.
INF, we do have beef. It's what's for dinner, but you're the one that full sent him from third place, you idiot. In a corner, you can only go like one wide in. Now, this dude ran a preset 3 when everyone else ran 2s. That's why I couldn't pass him. All right, INF. Now, if you'll excuse me, INF, I'm going to put it on Austria.
So going
Okay, I lied.
kind of backing off of the Justin
Brazil.
Haley and used to be with Colleague, going over to Rick Ware, we also have aforementioned the topic of the last 2-3 weeks as well, Matt DiBenedetto. Yeah,
Dibby
Natty,
Schmibby.
pretty much.
Dibby Schmibby.
Got told that that sponsorship deal that supposedly was coming through with A&M Racing, well, that quote unquote now fell through. Or
Oh Lord.
so Matty D still without a ride, and we have no idea what's going on. So there's that.
Tragic. Anyway,
Unfortunately, I don't know. At this point, we're kind of just
Anyway.
left in the realm of unknowns because we had a lot of rumors going on, and there's a whole lot of possibilities, but we've kind of covered that over the last few weeks. So there's not a whole lot now to talk about. Just the fact of he got dropped. Something didn't fall through, or something fell through, and he's now without a ride still. I mean, nothing was ever officially announced. He made the comment on Twitter with a pin saying something was signed. So he was signed somewhere and was never told. And I'm pretty sure it's probably because they were waiting on sponsorship. Well, when sponsorship doesn't go through, neither does the driver. It's very hard to get a ride without sponsor backing, especially somebody like Matty D.
yeah. I think the new sponsor outlook in terms of recency and NASCAR recently. I don't like that you have to have money to get a competitive seat, especially if you show that you're good. In cases like Matt DiBenedetto, I know I shit on him before, but he's shown that he's a decent driver and he deserves a decent car, and he has no backing, no support, so he can't get in a good car, and that sucks. It's almost like Landon Castle, that same situation. I think he's pretty good,
Yep.
just no backing.
Yep. I fully agree on that one. INF says that
Yeah.
Matty will become a full-time pro iRacer.
I mean, hey, if Timmy Hill can do it, Timmy Hill can be successful.
Timmy Hill
at it.
needs a real ride, and iRacing should sponsor him.
They really should. I'm surprised they didn't after
Screw
after COVID
Should have
year.
given Timmy Hill
Timmy
the
Hill
should have given
been
Timmy
given
Hill
a
the 10
full-time
at
ride
college.
with iRacing as
Should
sponsored.
have given Timmy Hill the 10. Not Castle, if you ask me. Even
Well,
though I think Castle kind of got boned, he was a one done
Well,
deal.
I
Didn't
will
really get
say,
a chance.
as far as a 10 car, kind of leading into, well, not the next topic, but we don't have it discussed on here, but I do want to bring up because we talked about a hint of it. But Noah Gregson, they had production day. Noah Gregson shows up in the most plaid and blank canvas suit that you'd ever seen at SHR.
What the
Bro
hell
had
is
one
INF
sponsor
doing?
on there, and that was Hunt Brothers Pizza, I think. Or no, not Hunt Brothers.
Rush, it was Rush Truck Centers.
Yes, Rush Truck Centers, and that was it. Besides the NASCAR Cup Series logo, well, that was it on that dude's fire suit. So SHR going downhill, but I think there's.
I
more
think it's
to
more
it.
or less. I think this is just a Larson 2.0 situation where Gregson just doesn't have enough backing yet. He's gonna get backing eventually. He's gonna get a sponsor. I don't think this is an SHR problem. I genuinely don't think this is a Haas problem. I don't think it is.
I think it is. I think there's a
If,
downfall coming.
if Josh Berry got a multitude of new sponsors.
Well, he
Like,
brought
they're not-
Harrison's from the Xfinity Series, and Sonny D was already with SHR.
Well, I knew that, but I mean, still, I don't think Haas. I think if Gene Haas realizes, hey, I don't need an F1 team anymore, maybe SHR could be good. Gene Haas is not in an F1 team. He does not. I'm sorry. They have never been good. They've only been good once, and it was 2018. They haven't been good since then, nor before then. Gene's got to sell the F1 team to fund the NASCAR team. That's how I see it. Firing Gunther Steiner was the first step.
Well, let's hope so. But and
I
now
don't think Gunther was the problem.
HD, I do.
Nah, Gunther was the problem. He settled for mediocrity. Didn't do anything with the car. He's just a media presence.
Now this next topic though, HD, I've got beef with you on this next topic because you and me discussed this
Alrighty.
and went into it deeply over the last I think 2 episodes ago when we were talking about Colligan Trackhouse.
Yep.
There was a video put up, I believe today, or at least I put it in the chat today, and it talks about Collig supposedly could be up for sale maybe in 24 months. And there's a quote saying that I don't know why the 24 months, but that was discussed with Matt Collig, saying that he's trying to look for maybe a partnership or maybe is this selling of the team? You and me discussed this deeply about colleague and Trackhouse partnership that Justin Marks is going places with Trackhouse. What this would do is open up that door for a full sale buyout of colleague with how low, because we all know the colleague cup program is not, it's not there.
Yeah, Colleague is an
I mean,
Xfinity team.
I
That's
mean, let's not still like act like it's awful. It
it's
could be
not, well,
better,
it's not awful,
obviously.
but
It could be better.
obviously the program is more geared for Xfinity right now. That's where they're putting everything into. They've got a stacked, going into this season, they have the most stacked team that they've ever had probably in their history in Xfinity. So, and then you have a Cup Series ride that isn't even fully developed yet, going in, and we're almost a month away. And
I
it's
hate
only one
INF
car.
so much.
It's only one car.
I hate INF so much.
So now you have this whole colleague and Trackhouse with them being alliance with them. This could open up the door with Trackhouse buying out colleague, and once they buy them out, that becomes that fourth charter that Trackhouse has been needing to become the top tier team that we talked about 2 weeks ago, of opening that door for them to be one of the best teams in NASCAR with the talent that Trackhouse is bringing up. But
Well, and
Matt Colleague is wanting to wait those 24 months, so I think if this holds true, because the video was discussed about why 24 months. Well, the market is going to be different in about 2 years, when in 2025, when NASCAR's market kind of makes a shift, and it's going to allow for Matt Colleague to get a better deal out of it if he sells then versus now. It be a full-on sellout of the team, or it be a co-ownership partnership that comes in.
If you ask me, I think their Xfinity program is their baby. I think that's what they want to keep. I don't think they would fully sell out. I feel like they're two cup
They'll just
charters. They would sell their
they'll
cup side.
just yeah, they'll just sell the charters. They're not gonna sell Matt Colleague's not gonna sell the Xfinity program. There's no world where he's gonna do that
Well,
now. There's no world.
No,
No
well,
feasible
I
world
didn't mean
at all.
I guess I could word it differently. I didn't really mean full sell as far as the team itself, but for the cup side, yes. Their cup team
Yeah,
entirely.
both of the
Just get
charters, yeah.
just get rid of the Cup charters and fund your Xfinity team. Bingo. Have the Colleague Xfinity team be the gateway to Trackhouse. Simple. Pretty simple,
Their
honestly.
current Xfinity
Simple
lineup
concept.
is on par with that Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger, Ross Chastain lineup. It's their best, I think, in a long time.
It is. And I mean, I think Trackhouse is onto something.
I still wish Brandon Jones wasn't an idiot at Texas. I think Ross could have won the chip that year.
He could have, should have. But no, I think that's going to be a huge shift for Colleague, and it's going to be one keynote that we're going to be watching over the next 2 years, at the end of 2024, going into 2025, to see what does happen with the College Cup team, because we know where they're standing at right now. And I found it interesting when I heard about this, because I knew right then and there, and I texted Luke, and I told him, I said, did I not talk about this 2 weeks ago? And me and HD hassled it out about the Trackhouse power and where Justin Marks is wanting to take this team, and how they're allianced with the colleague team over in Cup. That something's going down. We don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be huge. Then we see the potential, possibly for sale, of the colleague Cup team. That's playing right into what we talked about. So this is going to be one that I'm going to be watching for sure, over the next couple of years, to see how this evolves for Trackhouse, because, of course, me being a Trackhouse guy, I love it. So it'll be an interesting storyline. And as far as the colleague Xfinity program, all eyes this week were directed to a picture that was put out of the top half of a 1 and either a 10, which we all knew was a 10, but we didn't know for sure based on the picture, but most did. So it was a picture of a 10 car, as you can see right there on the screen. We didn't know, we said expected a driver announcement. We didn't know who was going to be, what it was going to be for. And out of left field, Lo and
The goat
behold,
himself.
the
Die
goat
hard. Danny
Die
Die,
Hard,
baby. Danny
Daniel
Die, baby.
Die. Who would have freaking thought? I mean, did anybody in here see that coming?
I honestly thought they were gonna pull a even weirder move and call up Nick Sanchez. But Daniel Dye works. I got a feeling that in the future, should Sanchez graduate from trucks pretty quickly,
He's gonna be
Sanchez is going to
Colleague.
be next in the Sanchez will be next in the works. I feel like Sanchez is a great talent. I believe it.
Oh yeah, he is, and he's got a full-time ride next year in trucks once again. So, but yeah, I mean, if he ever graduates from trucks, he'll go. I think he could end up in Colleague. But old Danny Dye, who I mean, nobody saw it coming. I mean, everybody, I think, at least everybody that I've talked to and discussed with about this, was shocked to see this coming. Nobody really, we didn't really talk much about it. We talked about the 10 car a little bit, but we didn't know who was going to be driving it. We had thoughts, and Daniel Dye was nowhere near our thought process. But it is not full time. It is only a part time, as you can see right there on the schedule.
10-year schedule. Yep.
Yep. It's starting at Daytona, and then he'll return at Texas, Dover, Iowa, Pocono, Indianapolis, Michigan, Kansas, Las Vegas, and finale at Phoenix. So, not a bad lineup, I will say. LRS, got any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like that for Daniel Dye in Colleague. I mean, Daniel Dye really isn't proven, if you ask me. I mean, he ran okay with GMS in the Truck Series, and he ran okay with GMS in ARCA. Nothing really like stand out or shocking. But I do think it's good for them. But we also have to raise the question: there's 23 other races to fill. Who's going to be in the car for those races? Because Allmendinger's full time now in the Xfinity Series. Is it going to be Daniel Hemrick? I heard Derek Kraus. I would have took Derek Kraus over Daniel Dye.
I would have
I
too.
still don't think Derek Kraus is that guy. I'm going to be honest. That's a discussion
He's
for another time.
he's not, but I think that
I just
he's
hate Derek
better than
Kraus.
Daniel Dye though.
I hate Derek Kraus.
Derek Carr's gonna be
I
a name to reconcile with though.
forget.
I
This
don't,
is
I don't know.
this is just Steve Stremme in the Xfinity Series. David Stremme, not Steve. David. I thought his name was Steve. It's David. I thought it was Steve.
What a Chad.
No, it's not Steve. It's David.
What a Chad.
Okay. Anyway, I hate David Stremme. I'm not talking about that. But yeah.
Well, and we'll see what Daniel Dye does in that 10 car, and we'll see what the announcement is for that rest of the season because, like I said, 23 other races. I'm curious to see what that is like for Colleague, being that they have SVG and AJ already,
And Josh Williams.
and Williams. But again, here's another point proven of Colleague is like Xfinity is their baby, like you stated, Luke. That's their baby. They got 3 full time and a 4th part time. So
Yep.
there's huge things going on in Colleague, and I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see what their Xfinity program does this year because that's a stout and very solid lineup for them.
Yeah, and who would have thought that Josh Williams walking out of his car at Atlanta on the start finish line would get him a good opportunity?
Matt Collick said, I like this guy.
It's happened to
Yeah.
the best of us. You saw, other certain drivers do certain things, and then next thing you know, they get higher equipment. Maybe some drivers will start doing that now.
Maddie said, "Man, I just straight up suck. I'm terrible," and he got himself a cup ride.
Shocked.
So you just gotta say something, and something will be said. I never say an SP predicting the future. You are right. And since we do have SP back,
cleaning's ready. That sucks.
rounding out our motorsports section before we head into our favorite session, which is overtime. SP and Kenny, of course, this is our All-Star event week, like we have already mentioned before, with the All-Star race this upcoming week. So the tournament, of course, we talked about how the qualifying tournament works. It's a bracket style 1v1s, and SP and Kenny wanted to do a special announcement of saying what their track what they have chosen to do. So SP had the higher choice with the track chosen type, so he had the higher seed, so he gets track type, and then Kenny gets the draft package. So this is the moment that we give them the spotlight. So Kenny or SP, SP's
I
here.
will do it
Yeah,
because I have to get vengeance.
Okay, so SP, this is you and Kenny versus each other. What track are y'all going to?
First off, Mole, you took my baby. Very upset. How dare you take Sonoma? So I'm gonna take one of your better tracks so you don't take me there. So we're gonna go to Richmond right after this podcast is done, and I'll stream it on my esports racing network. But we're gonna go to Richmond because I really wanted to go Sonoma, and Mole said no. I'm taking Pluto there. So yeah, we're going to Richmond. Take that, Mole.
All right, Mole, you have heard it right here, there.
Hey,
Kenny, what's the
hey, don't
draft
forget.
package?
Well, I've been thinking about it, and you know, I think I want to go high draft at Richmond and see what that does.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I like that.
I like that. And so, if y'all don't know what this stems off of with the bracket style, with them taking each other's tracks, um, Pluto and me were the first ones kind of get this started. I will say, Pluto, I hate Martinsville. Mole absolutely is the beast there. Everybody loves, or well, not everybody. Everybody hates it whenever we go there because we all know Mole's going to win it. That's his dominant track. So once a track is selected, per our rules, once a track is selected, it cannot be used no longer in the rest of the tournament anywhere. So Pluto said, let's go to Martinsville, so that way Mole cannot use it. So we beat Mole to it. So we got to take, or Pluto took me to Martinsville, and I got destroyed because I hate Martinsville, and Pluto's half decent there, of course. Um, so then Pluto and Mole matched up, and Mole wanted to take away Sonoma from SP because Mole had a thought that it might be him and SP in the final round. So he said, you know what, let me take SP's track on the same night that SP and Kenny were, or not same night, but on the same day SP told me, saying, we're going to race Sonoma. And he told Kenny was practicing Sonoma to get better at it, to get ready for that race. And that very night, Mole said, I'm racing my race at Sonoma, and took it away from SP.
Sonoma.
So Kenny was excited because he hates that track. Uh, so that's where that stems off of. Now Richmond is probably Mole's second best short track, and it does take away another short track. So be curious to see what that shakes out to be. And the winner of SP and Kenny will move on and face off against Mole, and that one will determine the poll winner. So we're up to first,
I also
second,
want to
and
say
third.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
Mole, take me to New Hampshire. I really like that. Let's go back there. That was a fun race.
SP, I hate to burst your bubble, but if Mole hadn't have gotten pinned all those laps down, he probably would have waxed your ass.
I don't know. I kept up with him,
He was
and
keeping up.
But
I was with him.
I will say
I don't
this:
know.
no matter what happens in this next race that me and SP run, I'm just happy that I made it around further, even though it was by a unfortunate series of events. Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Luke,
Uh,
I will go on record and say we were at Pocono and Luke clearly had the fastest car in the race. But due to his battery shortage and
Mm-hmm.
his batteries making sure anytime he caught up, they would just die on him.
My batteries died 3 times, and I caught up to Kenny twice.
and we have no
So,
set rules to back that up in that type of situation.
What the?
So, therefore, Kenny got the bump and LRS got the boot.
Yep,
so
he deserved it though.
this will be my second time with a chance of starting fourth in a race. So
You'll be starting third at worst.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Pluto has a higher seed than I do.
It doesn't matter. In seed, Pluto and Mole have already raced, so he gets
Oh,
fourth.
well,
Since him and Pluto have already
that'll be
raced,
my
that eliminates.
that will be
that
my
one.
best starting spot of the season.
So it's down to third, second, and first.
Hey, SP, thanks for waiting. Now I'm gonna have my best starting spot of the season, no matter what happens.
Yay!
All right, so let's kick it off and head into our last segment of this evening. And y'all know what time it is. It is overtime.
Everyone, but no, we're not sponsored.
New perfect and over. Oh, we're not that.
Presented by NBA 2K and Bradley Beal New Orleans Pelicans jerseys.
Now that you say presented by, now Twitch is going to look at that and they will now take the stream down because you said that. So congratulations, you played yourself.
Nah.
Technically
They've done it
speaking, Luke
before.
said it
I've
first.
said presented by whatever it was that, and then they took my thing down.
We've said presented
For Instagram
by
and YouTube.
Bradley
every single
Beal
week.
jerseys.
Good,
Bradley
that's
Beal
fine.
jerseys
We're
isn't a
sponsored by
company.
them. I'm talking about HD, a higher. He said 2K. Don't say that. Come
Oh.
on, man.
I said Bradley Beal New Orleans Pelicans jerseys.
That's not a real thing.
It's like saying Brad Pitt, Miami jersey, Miami Heat jersey. But it is overtime nonetheless, and we're going to get into it. Something different this week. It is the All-Star race. So what we're going to do, obviously, if you're new here, we have green, white, checkered. We have a typically 2-minute countdown timer for this because that's about how long it takes to do overtime in real life. So green flag is the ones to watch, white flag is the keys to victory, and checker flag is race-winning picks. But to capitalize on this, we're going to give everybody 3 minutes this week. So you're going to get 3 minutes because we're going to have ones to watch. You want to go over. Again, Kenny, want to talk a long time. Let's not have you go on a 20-second ramble because then that's going to kill us. No,
Well, I can already tell you who's not going to win this damn race.
Yeah. But nonetheless, we're going to go over each one of us. We'll go in order and go over the ones to watch, keys victory, and the race winning picks. 3 minutes only because let's do the open and the race itself. Getting down to the race winning picks. Race winning picks, I want y'all's top 3 of who's going to advance, and then into the All-Star race, and then your All-Star race pick.
I don't know who's in the open.
I was about to let you know. So
Thank you.
yeah. If I can get it pulled up here. Alright, so the guys that are going to be in the open, don't know if they'll actually compete or not. So this is a predetermined pick. But the guys that are allowed to compete, we have Tomato, Flash, Low Broke, Brad, High Road, Deport, HD, Loading, Mr. J, Plater, Dusty Stud, and that's it. I had Loading in there twice, I don't know why.
Well, I can definitely say Tomato and Flash are going to advance.
You can say that in your race winning picks, but that is your All-Star Open. Again, Open is going to be taking place at a disclosed track. It has already been selected, but the drivers will not know the track until it is race time. So that way, nobody has an advantage going into it. No practice because they don't know what track it is.
It's going to be interesting. That's all I'll say.
It's a 13% race with times 4 on normal draft. So again, top 3 finishers get in. One gets in the fan vote, but we're not going to discuss the fan vote tonight in the overtime. So again, 3 minutes. We'll go in order. LRS, you kick it off tonight, and then SP, and then HD, and then Kenny wraps it up, and then I'll come in behind. So 3 minutes on the clock. We're going to go green flag with the ones to watch, and starting now.
Right. Well, my ones.
Okay.
My ones to watch are for the open. I'm gonna go with Flash, Tomato, and Dusty Stud. For the main All-Star race, doesn't really matter what goes on between Kenny and SP, in my opinion, or Mole and SP, or Mole and Kenny. I think that race it's a whole bunch of different races, so it's kind of hard to predict. I'm gonna go with Mole, obviously. I'm gonna go with SP because of Daytona, and I'm gonna go with throw a random one there, Alex.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay,
SP.
my turn to cook.
Wants to watch.
Dusty is going to be one to watch. New to the Cup Series, kind of running part full time, whatever he can run. He's definitely one to watch. Flash as well, been strong. He almost won Wednesday, very good in Cup. And then obviously Tomato, he's probably one of the best drivers in the league right now. Ones to watch in the main event, Mole because he's been on fire. Probably myself. I'm starting to figure out these cars and I'm starting to catch heat right at the right time. And then another one kind of keep an eye on is Pluto. Pluto seems to have it down too.
HG.
For the open, I'm just gonna keep it short and simple. Flash, Tomato, and Deport. Don't sleep on Deport. I believe in Deport. I know he can do it. For the open, if there's anyone that can do it, I know Deport's one of the men that can do it. For the All Star race itself, obviously Mole. Why would we pick against him? SP, and I'm also gonna go Pluto. I'm a believer in Pluto. Firm
Kenny.
believer.
So for the open, I think I'm going to go with Mater, Flash, and I think Dr. Clater's got a real good shot at making the open.
Ooh, good shout. Good shout on Clater.
As for my picks for the race, I think definitely Mole for sure, and I'm going to say Flash, even though he's starting pretty far back. I think Flash is going to be up front pretty quick, and you know just because this dude's been on a pretty good tear. He had some bad luck at Homestead Roval leading the race, but I'm gonna go with my man LRS.
All right.
I think Luke's got a real good shot at this too.
I think with the Open, it's going to be Deport is just going to be the one to watch, just all around. And with the All Star race, I think Flash. And keys to victory. We took too long. I don't think we're going to beat it, but LRS go with keys to victory 20 seconds.
Just be confident.
SP.
A lot of races. Be patient.
HC.
Drive.
Kenny.
Don't be like High Road.
Drive smart. And because we took so long on the green flag.
Because Kenny went, well, I really like this guy. He seems like he's pretty good. I also
took
like this guy.
Way too long on the green flag. Oh my god.
That was so unexpected.
So
it's just don't be like
Well,
Hyra.
let's finish. Get some race picks then.
race
We
winning
can take our
picks.
time now.
Yeah, we're going to finish it out. We did not beat the clock by no means. But race
Oh my
winning
god.
picks. LRS, kick it off.
Yeah, it's gonna be really competitive, like our old I think it was Starlight series where we did these 3 or 4 races a night. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be consistency, and I feel like for some odd reason, I gotta give a nod to Flash for that consistency.
All right. SP.
Race winning picks. You know what? Someone who's got a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence going in the next week and probably the rest of the season right now, who's riding sky high. You can't look no further than, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but myself, I really feel like there's 4 unique tracks. I feel like these next gen cars have made me so much better than what I was the last few seasons. I feel like you just cannot sleep on me. I don't think Mole, who obviously a lot of people are thinking about winning this All-Star race, you can't just sleep on old SP. I think I can give Mole a run for his money.
HC.
Man. It's gonna be an interesting pick, but if he gets out of the open, which I'm 110% confident he will, Flash. 110%. I'm a believer in Flash. As well as SP. I can't just pick one without picking the other. Considering they were a part of, I don't know, the greatest finish we've ever witnessed?
Exactly.
Possibly? I can't pick one without picking the other. I just can't do it.
Kenny.
Well, I kind of have to agree with HD. I think Flash. I really do. I believe that with everything I got. I think
His
Flash is.
win's coming. His
If
win is coming.
he was to
I'm a
get a
believer.
win, it would be in the All Star because of just how crazy the format is, and that's just the kind of racing the All Star race has. So, but definitely don't sleep on Mole and SP though. Definitely don't sleep on those two.
I've got to say, when it comes down to it, I think uh, for All Star, either Deport or Pluto are my two. And the reason why I say that is because of the way the format is shifted, the way it is laid out. I think Deport or Pluto will have the best shot. So that's mine. To finish it out, I do want to go over the All Star Race format for y'all, uh, and it might help y'all understand why our picks are the way they are. Stage one, it's 4 stages. It's 4 different tracks. We'll have black flags on. It's going to be times 2 wear. But stage one is Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen will be at 12 laps around the Glen. The finishing order sets the lineup for stage two. The winner of Watkins Glen moves to the rear to start stage two, and the winner will start first in the final stage. In stage two, we'll head to Las Vegas, where we'll do 19 laps around Vegas. The finishing order for that sets the lineup for stage three. The winner moves to the rear to start stage three, and the winner of stage two will start second in stage four. And then stage three is going to be at Bristol, where we're going to do 35 laps around Bristol. It's going to be the finishing order will be inverted behind the top three, and then the winner will also start third in stage four. And stage four is Talladega, 13 laps around Dega, and the winner of Dega wins the All Star race or All Star event in this case. So that's why I picked Pluto and Deport. A lot of great picks. Flash is a good one. SP is a good one. LRS is a really good one. Again, so much consistency and so much build up, and these cars handle differently at Talladega. I will say we've seen it time and time again with these new cars at Dega versus Daytona. Daytona is just it's not the best, but Dega can be so much racing, and it's also racing no points, nothing's on the line, so it's all about just the win. So I think it's gonna be great. We got people in here saying Crimson in here saying quote of the year: "Don't be like High Road."
I I'm sorry. I think my reaction made that quote a lot funnier because that was funny, but the way I just turned basically into one of the car horns when I laughed. Yeah, someone's gotta clip that and send it to me. Someone's gotta clip that and send it to me.
I
That was
will.
funny. Just my. Oh, that was so funny. I'm sorry.
INF says that his new All Star race pick is himself.
Boo!
He also
Boo!
he did say at first one bad got that dog in him for real, and so then I was commenting while you were talking saying one bad ain't racing. So he said myself, and then Pluto. He said Pluto's a great sleeper pick. He's got that all around consistency. If he doesn't get shunted into the wall. But no, that's gonna be about it. So it's been a little bit longer than expected podcast, but it's been a great one. We're almost at a 2 hour
Almost two
mark.
hours. Almost at
Oh,
2 hours.
bro, we
Holy.
Almost
said
at
an
two
hour and a
hours.
half.
So, but we had a lot to cover. That's why it's titled. Yeah, here we go because it's gonna be one. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being here. LRS, thank you for finally showing up. Uh, and glad to have you in, as well as SP and HD as always.
Of course.
Us four amigos are always here every Friday night. So it's been
Jeez.
awesome. Kenny, you've been absolute thrill to have on this week. Thank you for coming in and being our special guest for the week.
Yeah, no problem. I had a lot of fun.
So, with that, guys, that's going to do it from UTLR Podcast. Again, find us every Friday night after the stream is over. You can find it on YouTube and on Spotify on the Under the Lights Racing Podcast, UTLR.
Spoke Tiffy.
So yeah, that's Spoke Tiffy. Go find us there. But it's been my pleasure. That's going to do it for us from here. Tune in next week where we have the Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup all racing next week. Again, all-star race for the Cup Series and Trucks at Phoenix and Xfinity at Charlotte. So it's going to be one to watch. And F2 coming up. If you want to be a part of it, hit us up and we'll get you locked in. It starts up in March. So
God
be
bless
safe.
America.
Be safe, everybody. Have a great one. Have a great weekend. We'll see y'all next week.
Don't be like High Road.